I've read your op-ed. It says, you say Donald Trump could ride the special counsel's report all the way to the White House, but only if he avoids these potholes. Well, here you are.
Well,
which potholes must he avoid?
Okay, so what should he be talking about? Obviously, immigration, the border, because he has real credibility on this. He fixed it. Biden has not fixed it. He's made it much, much worse. Also, the economy. He should be talking about low regulations, low taxes, keeping the Trump tax cuts in place, because Biden's going to reverse that. If he's elected, that's trillions of dollars in new taxes. What shouldn't he talk about? Everything else. He should not talk about Nikki Haley's wardrobe, Nikki Haley's husband. He shouldn't talk about NATO. Anytime he does one of those sort of blustery, tongue-in-cheek things, as he recently did about how he threatened to allow Putin to invade a NATO country if they weren't paying their 2%, the left goes crazy on that. You should really do a review of the headlines that sparked, because they were very dishonest, very misleading, but it just feeds the narrative that Trump is dangerous, we can't trust him, and so you're better off with a senile old man who's gotten us into 2 wars than we are with someone who speaks a big game, but frankly, most of it's bluster.
There was a time right after the Fox town hall with Donald Trump, and then after the Iowa caucuses, which he won, where his tone seemed to be coming down a notch or two, a kinder, friendlier tone. But then he can't resist it.
Impulse control is not his strong suit. I think we can agree with that, Stuart. Yeah. But you're completely right. There was that tone change. And I'd say 2 things about that. One, I hear from people in the campaign, he is listening. He wants to win. And he is listening to people who give him advice. I'm not going to be giving him advice. The president has much better advisors than me, but I do think he is open to suggestion about what's going to work and what's not going to work. And look, I think the other thing that we are undervaluing, or the world's undervaluing, his campaign is way more professional than it was the last time around. This is a very different campaign. It's much more disciplined. If they can throw that discipline net over the president, former President Trump, that would be great, because he can win this election.
What did you call it? Impulse control is a must for Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Not his strong suit.
Not his strong suit.
Liz, you're all right. Thanks very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Sure thing.